When talking about the way that people eat, we often explain their behavior by attributing character traits to them. For example, my friend Stephen might say about me that I ate too much cake because I'm weak-willed. Or I might say of my friend Erin that she eats the foods that she does because she is a compassionate eater. As we saw in Week 2, virtue ethicists think of the development of character traits as an extremely important part of ethics. Virtue ethicists such as Christina Van Dyke, for example, say that we should cultivate virtues, which are a special kind of character trait, through our eating. Even though common sense and the virtue ethicists posit the existence of character traits, some philosophers, the Situationists, have suggested that common sense is mistaken. According to the Situationists, we don't have character traits, or at the very least, our character traits don't influence our behavior to nearly the degree that we would naively expect. The situationist critique relies on experiments from social psychology that seem to show that the way in which people behave is often influenced overwhelmingly by the situations in which people find themselves. A commonly referenced experiment is the Good Samaritan experiment, which examined helping behavior in seminary students. Students at Princeton Theological Seminary were told that they had an appointment at a different part of campus. Some of these students were told that they needed to hurry, while others were told that they could take their time. As the students made their way to where they needed to go, they encountered a person who appeared to need help. One would expect that seminary students would be the kind of people to help even if they were under pressure to be on time for an appointment. But what experimenters found was that students who were told that they needed to rush to make their appointment helped the person in distress at a much lower rate than students who weren't in a rush to make their appointment. Some situationists suggest that experiments like these show that the situation a person finds themselves in does more to determine how that person will behave than any character traits they might have. For example, whether the person is compassionate or helpful. Brian Wansink's research on the factors that influence an individual's eating behavior raises similar questions about the idea that people's character traits determine, or at least play a very important role in determining, how they eat. If how much food a person eats can be influenced by how large their plate is and other seemingly trivial factors, then what is more important in determining how we eat? Our food situations or our character traits as eaters? Given how many different factors influence the way that we eat, many of which we probably haven't even discovered, does it make sense to call some people weak-willed or gluttons? Even if Wansink's and the Situationists' research doesn't cast doubt on the existence of character traits, it still poses an interesting challenge to the attribution of responsibility for the way we eat. If I overeat because the plates in my kitchen are too big, and I know that the size of my plates influences how much I eat, then I'm arguably responsible for overeating. But if I overeat because the plates in my kitchen are too big, and I don't know that the size of my plates influences how much I eat, then it's arguable that I'm not fully responsible for overeating. Next time you sit down to eat, ask yourself why you chose to eat what you did. You'll probably feel as if you're in total control of your choice. But think about whether that's correct. Consider whether you might be underestimating the influence of factors that you don't realize are influencing you. Maybe our common sense views of ourselves as eaters are simply stories that we tell ourselves, which really aren't supported by evidence at all.